Welcome to Current Affairs series. We will look at some important news material for Tuesday, July 12th, 2017. First is national news. NITI Aayog is working with center and states through structured support and mechanism for resolving pending issues. Now, NITI Aayog, or National Institution for Transforming India, is a Government of India's policy think tank. It designs strategic and long-term policies and programs for the Government of India, and it also directs it how to do it. It is directly under the chairmanship of the Prime Minister. It provides relevant technical advice to the center and states. That means it also acts as a mediator when it comes to project coordination. The role of NITI Aayog is to foster cooperative federalism, meaning make all states act together in national interest. You see all these initiatives like Skill India, Digital India, Make in India, Swachh Bharat Mission, Prime Minister's Relief Fund, National Institute of Labour Economics Research and Development, and then reforms in agriculture, medical education, digital payment, then Atal Innovation Mission. All these initiatives are suggested by NITI Aayog to the Government of India. As I said, that Prime Minister is the chairman of NITI Aayog, and it also consists of a governing council. Now, all the Chief Minister of States, Union Territories, and the Governor of Andaman and Nicobar Islands are the members of NITI Aayog's Governing Council. Then it has a Vice Chairman who is appointed by the Prime Minister. Then it has two part-time members from leading universities. Then it also has a Chief Executive Officer of Secretary rank who is appointed by the Prime Minister. So the idea is that both center and state should work together in coordination towards national interest. The second headline is about Science Express. Now, Science Express is a flagship program of the Government of India. Since October 2007, Science Express, which is a 16-coach AC train which is traveling across India as part of promoting science through exhibition. Now, this program was started by the Department of Science and Technology. It has become the largest, the longest running, and the most visited mobile science exhibition in the world. So every year, based on a theme, this train travels across India. So far, the themes have been related to cutting-edge research in science and technology, then biodiversity of India and its conservation measures, and this year the theme is on global challenges of climate change. Let's go to the next headline. Mineral exploration in India is looking to adopt PPP model. So PPP model stands for Public Private Partnership. Currently, India is not self-sufficient in minerals. We import quite a lot of them. Due to lack of private sector participation, mineral exploration industry is not doing well in the country. Now, why are we facing such an issue? There is a couple of reasons. Number one, there is a big skill gap in the sector. Laborers are not skilled enough in mining activities. Number two, differences in stamp duty in various states. Now, stamp duty are basically tax levied by the government on business transactions. So different states have different rates. That's what is keeping the private sector away from the mining business. Reason number three, geo-mapping of minerals is not accurate, and because of that there is no accurate assessment of mineral reserves in the country. So these are some of the issues in mining industry. Always remember this point, only the private sector can grow the economy because they have the power to generate capital. Government at the end of the day is a service industry that does administration job. It cannot take over the work of production. A good example to understand this is, look at a government companies, PSUs. Majority of them have huge debt. PSUs are a liability to the government. That's why India moved from socialist economy to a mixed economy. Socialist economy cannot sustain for a long time. Indian Railways is an example of socialist economy, and it is very important for all of us. But if you see, even Railways is running in loss. Capitalism has its own set of fears. There's always a fear that capitalism will bring self-interest and greed. Again, with proper rules and regulation, everything can work well. So India is looking for a public-private partnership model in mining industry. Let's get to know about this portal called Government E-Marketplace. Now, it is an online portal where government can buy goods and services required by various government departments, organizations, PSUs. For example, government offices need transport services. Therefore, they hire and lease cars from private companies. So if you want to sell that service to the government, then go through this portal and apply. This portal is meant to enhance the transparency, efficiency, and speed in government procurement. It is a step towards curbing corruption because everything is online. There will be no paper receipt, no cash payment, hence there will be no corruption. Of course, favoritism may exist, but government wants to deal with one problem at a time. Let's go to the next one. Hubbali Ankola rail project clears first hurdle. Now, it's a railway project that will connect Hubbali in the plains and Ankola on the coast. So Hubbali is part of the city of Dharwa, and Ankola is in the western coastal region of Karnataka. as you can see from the map that it clearly is going through the dense forest of Western Ghats. The environmental cost remains very high. More than 1.73 lakh trees will be cleared to make way for the railway project. It will also clear a portion of Kali Tiger Reserve, which is here. So do remember that there is a tiger reserve in Karnataka named Kali Tiger Reserve. Now this name originated from Kali River, which is nearby. Kali Tiger Reserve is home to Bengal tigers, black panthers and elephants. Let's go to the next headline. India knows how to make nuclear weapons. Now yesterday's Lok Sabha session, Prime Minister Modi's replies confirmed that India has got the full knowledge of how to make a nuclear weapon. What does that mean? It means that Indian scientists of Atomic Energy Commission are well aware of how fission technique works. Always remember, both fission and fusion are nuclear reaction that produces energy, but their application is different. Fission means splitting and fusion is combining. So if an atom is split or if two atoms are combined, both produces energy. In a nuclear weapon, fission reaction takes place. Right now in India, 22 nuclear reactors are operational under 8 nuclear power plants. All operation is going under Nuclear Power Corporation of India and Bhavini. Right now India is making peaceful use of nuclear energy, meaning it uses for electricity generation, food preservation, health industry, etc. I have a video showing all the maps of nuclear power plants in India. The link is there in the description, do check it out. Now we'll look at the environmental news. Wildlife decline is reaching its 6th mass extinction. Now more than 30% of animals with a backbone, that is fish, birds, amphibians, reptiles and mammals, are declining in both range and population. This is called biological annihilation, which is happening globally. Especially the mammal species are dying. 40% of them, including rhinos, orangutans, gorillas and many big cats, are living on 20% or less of the land they once lived on. Several species of mammals that were safe 1 or 2 decades ago are now endangered, including cheetahs, lions and giraffes. Tropical regions have seen the highest number of declining species. In South and Southeast Asia, large-bodied species of mammals have lost more than 4/5 of their historical ranges. The reason behind the decline are habitat loss, overconsumption, pollution, invasive species, disease, as well as poaching in the case of tigers, elephants, rhinos and other large animals. Just remember these points, it can be used in essays. Climate change is also an important factor behind their extinction. Let's go to the next one. Godavari cleaning project. While Government of India is doing efforts to clean Ganga, but a group of United States researchers is working on a system that maps the pollution trends in Godavari. Now Godavari is the second longest river in India after Ganga. 60 million people live on the Godavari river basin. With the help of satellite, a boat sails on the river to collect water samples and using special sensors to measure bacterial and chemical pollution. With the help of cloud-based data collection and real-time mapping system, the research team wants to demonstrate the importance and value of detecting and anticipating pollutants that enter the river in the form of human waste, organic materials, and chemical contaminants. Sensors for monitoring river pollution are an emerging technological approach in India. You can mention these points if you are asked how can space technology be used for socio-economic purpose. So this will be a very good point for your essay or any question that comes in the exam. Alright, recently the Government of India and RBI, Reserve Bank of India, they launched this new bankruptcy law. It's called the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code of 2016. So if you don't know about that, I think you should go and see one of my current affair videos. Just check the description of all the videos that I've made. There I've mentioned about it, and I've just mentioned a brief summary about it. So just quickly see that and then come over to this video, because it will all make sense if you watch that little snippet of what I said in that video. So anyways, so what happens with this code is that suppose you are a big company, okay, you took multiple loans from different banks. So banks are basically your lender. Now what happens is you're not able to pay them back. So if you're not able to pay them back, that loan to that bank becomes a non-performing assets, NPA, okay. Now the bank will give you some time. After a particular time, maybe around 90 days or something, the lender, which is the bank, is going to file bankruptcy or insolvency charges against you. Now what do you mean by that? Well, it means that there will be a case against you in the Bankruptcy Court of India. So why is the government doing this? The reason government is doing this is because you see right now the banks in India are in huge loss. I mean, they are in such a big loss that it's affecting the GDP of the country. So RBI last month said to these banks that take out those big defaulters, those big companies who have taken the loan and they have not repaid. So the bank identified 12 accounts for insolvency proceedings. Okay. Now the astonishing thing is that each one of them is having more than 5,000 crore of outstanding loan. That means 25% of total non-performing assets for the banks. So one such company is Essar Steel Limited. It's based in Gujarat. So it is owned by the billionaire Ruiya brothers. I think you must have heard about them. So their company has been listed under this insolvency proceeding. Now the funny thing is that the government has made this law, everything is well in place, but the government couldn't imagine this, that the companies also had the right to sue the government. Now you must be thinking on what charges the company will be suing the government. The company can sue the government on the charges of hostility, arbitrary, and unreasonable selection process. So you see all these banks, all these lenders, they have to clear their balance sheet very quickly, right? So what they are going to do is they're going to just see who are the big offenders and put their name. They're not actually seeing what are their market status right now. Are they performing good or not? Are their stocks doing well or not? Because just think about it. What if there are companies who are big offenders, but then they are doing right now very good in the market? So we should give them a chance to actually come up, right? You cannot directly go to them and say that, all right, you're done. Let me, dissolve your company or sell your assets. You can't do that, right? So this is what happened with Essar Steel Limited. Now, an interesting thing over here is that the reason this kind of law happened is because this is a very new law in the country, okay? So the World Bank says that it takes around 4.5 years on an average in India to resolve insolvency under the old laws. So looking at this, the government wanted to change things very fast, So that's why they brought this code. They said that, we'll quickly finish this, we'll recover our money, we'll solve all these matters in 180 days, that is 6 months. But then they forgot one big thing, is that how are you going to shortlist the offenders? Because the people are not experienced to actually shortlist the offenders. Because due to the lack of experienced insolvency resolution professionals, how can you rely on the bank analyst to identify a particular company and say that this company is not going to perform well, just dissolve it or sell off or start the liquidation process of their assets? It's unfair. So the Insolvency Code did not have this mechanism to decide as to which company needs to be shortlisted and on what criteria. So that was a little analysis and insight on this Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. So do watch the current affairs of July 7th. In that I've explained the summary of Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. Watch that and then immediately watch this one, so you will get a gist of everything. So these were the important current affair materials that I found in the news of Wednesday, July 12th, 2017. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. As usual, thanks for watching and I'll see you tomorrow.